peers, you know, and you go through these ups and downs, in the long run, it can make you a very emotionally unstable person.
The roller coaster.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
So this is how it's linked, you know, the food. And same with the bread. I've had clients that they literally come for the 6 months program, you know, to give up bread. You know, that was the main goal. Of course, we got deeper into their, you know, life and the history of their health and their habits.
Sure.
But that was the problem. Like one of my clients who has come a long way since, and he's turned into such a beautiful person. You know,
I'm sure he's a beautiful person before, but just he wasn't happy.
Yeah, like I mean, like well, let's just say that he allowed the beauty to shine through him. That was already
expression
inside.
Of his beauty.
Yeah,
yes,
full expression of himself. He used to wake up at 2 a.m. or 4 o'clock in the AM to have a bread. It's crazy, you know, and now like he barely even touches it, and it's amazing to see the transformation. Yeah, it's amazing.
No.
So.
There's physical addiction. Food can be a physical addiction, but there's also this exercise one you're talking about, or for me, yoga. There's physical addictions that way as well. Sex, we talked about. Sex can be that, because you get that endorphin rush for sure. And then, so what do we want to talk about? We're talking about food and emotional addiction right now, yeah? So I know also that people can they create sometimes in their relationships an addiction to anger. Like there's like it can be a cycle of this kind of thing where you're feeding each other's addiction to anger, you know, because anger is actually a way to bring energy up and to get you focused and energized. And so if people don't know other ways to get themselves focused and energized, they can use anger that way. And there are people that can get addicted to that as the way to build up energy. And so I think that can be an addiction emotionally. Like,
or it could be, you know, a way of expressing.
Yes.
Because of the lack of ability to express yourself in a normal times, or like you're absorbing these feelings, negative feelings that you have inside, but you don't know how to let it out. You don't know how to express it, and you keep it inside. So it either builds up into anger or resentment or any of those feelings. And at one point, you know, like you get into a routine of building up, so just so you can explode. Another emotional addiction, I think it is playing the victim.
That's kind of version of sad,
you know? Yeah, because you are addicted to that feeling of always, you know, creating an atmosphere and putting yourself in the situations where you look, act, play as if or you are the victim, so other people can feel sorry for you or they pay you attention. You know, it could be just an attention seeking, so you're addicted to that.
Oh yes, oh yes. Yeah, and then we kind of cross over here from emotional into the mental thing, because then it's like there is like that's because the emotion piece is just sadness, like as an emotion, and then there's this, because victim creates, it's a story. It's like something like someone treated me the wrong way, or they shouldn't have done that. It's a resistance to reality, and that's more of a mental kind of a game that we can play with ourselves as well, which keeps creating the same emotion. Emotional,
sadness, or feeling betrayed, you know, left out, or I'm not good enough.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, there we go.
Yeah, nice.
Wow. And so we want to take a break now.
Yeah, I'd like to actually give a guideline for people, because sugar is such a big thing.
Yeah, I've had sugar addiction before.
Yeah, you had it, and you've done so well.
Yes, thank you.
And you know, just if you have a pen and piece of paper, you can grab it now, and just to write down a few bullet points of, you know, steps that you can take at home, what to do, and you know, how to reduce sugar addiction. If you are ready to make that step, because it's one of the most toxic produce you will find on earth right now. It's present into 80% of the produce that you will find in the supermarket. And it's not just about the sugar we know, but the sugar we don't know. You know, the ketchup, the mayonnaise, and fast food and everything. And it's literally, you know, in this century, believe it is the cocaine of nutrition. You know, the cocaine of food. So, how to detox yourself from sugar? How to get rid of, you know, sugar addiction. First, it's good that you start reducing and eliminating the amount of caffeine you're taking. So, coffee, you know, like it's creates ups and downs. So it can, because of the ups and downs, creates dehydration into the body, which then, you know, that creates blood sugar swings. And it's those blood sugar swings that I'm asking you to crave for something sweet.
So not just the energy boost that I get from coffee, is that one thing? If I have coffee, it gives me an energy boost and then it wears off and then I might go for sugar, but also you're saying the dehydration effect of coffee makes the blood sugar also change, okay?
Yeah. And it's the same with the constipation, for example. If your body is dehydrated...
We can't go 10 minutes without talking about constipation
today. Sorry. But because it's to do with the coffee and dehydration, if you're okay, if the body is not dehydrated, then the coffee will help your bowel.
Okay.
But if your body is dehydrated, then it actually worsens.
Yeah, that makes sense actually.
Makes sense.
Think about it, folks.
Yeah. So next step, of course, the most important, not just for addictions, but generally for your life and looking good and having glowing skin, is drink more water.
Oh, yeah.
Minimum 8 glasses per day. You know, water is so essential. 80% of our bodies are made of water.
Yeah.
Food, in terms of food, crowding in more sweet vegetables, so carrots, beetroot, sweet potatoes, crowd in more into your plate of sweet vegetables, because that will actually reduce the, you know, the sweet tooth. So if you eat for dinner and you have more of a sweet vegetables, then you won't want to crave so much of a sugar or having some type of a, you know, like a dessert meat for a dessert afterwards. And if it really that is bad, then you're better off with a piece of fruit or some nice yogurt, you know, than not the sugary yogurts, but natural yogurt, than taking actual sugar. And also avoid as much as you can artificial chemically induced products, you know, that they are not nature made but man-made. They will also, because like attracts like, so toxic attracts another toxic thing. So the more you avoid these type of produce, you know, chemically induced produce, the less you're gonna feel the need to have, you know, like Milka or Kinder, as much as they taste good, you know, like in the long term, they're really not good for you. Get physically active, very important. Get enough sleep. 8 hours of sleep per night is also important. When you're running on a low energy, when you don't get enough sleep, naturally your body is asking for more fuel, so you tend to crave for food, but you tend to crave for sugar, because sugar will spike up your
Also, when I'm tired, I'm going to go for the fastest, most efficient way to get my energy up. So if the fastest thing is, the easiest thing is going to be the thing that has the most sugar, usually.
Exactly, yeah. And it does wake you up, but it's only for a limited amount of time, you know, it's not in the long term.
Temporary relief.
Yeah. And also try to eliminate animal-based products. Speaking of the land.
Oh, well, I'm enjoying I'm fine. I'll be fine.
And if you are an animal eater, then, you know, obviously make sure that you make conscious choices. It's pasture-raised, it's natural, it's not full with, you know, antibiotics and hormones and whatever else they put, you know, in the industrialized meat these days.
But that's not specifically for sugar addiction, but like just in general, you're saying that.
Well, basically, it's also about creating a yin and yang in your body, you know, finding that balance. I think the less toxic food you're taking, the less you're going to crave for the sugar.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. I would definitely avoid any type of low-fat or fat-free products, because...
Yeah, then they just put sugar in instead.
Yeah, you know, when you take the actual fat of the product...
In order for you to want to eat it, they're going to put sugar in there.
Because without the fat, it has no taste. So in order to create a taste, they add sugar into it. So avoid all that, because it's shit, literally. And try to slow down, you know. I think...
One of the biggest things for me, when I was getting off of the chocolate, was just learning that it was okay sometimes during the day to lay down for 5 minutes or 10, like not even take a nap necessarily, but I had it, I think in my mind I had it like I'm not supposed to be tired ever during the day, and that's not true. Like I can, and it wasn't, I didn't need a nap, I just need to lay down sometimes and close my eyes for 5 minutes, like I was overly stimulated in my senses and I just needed to lay down and relax, and so that's, you know. That's,
or in my case, I'm not supposed to rest during the day. I have to do something.
Yeah, like there's some...
Just slow down. You know?
And he's shitting, like you're shitting on yourself, stop doing that, and let yourself rest. You know, if you're trying to stop, eating sugar, if you notice that you got this pattern, which is something like, I should be energized right now, because that's not necessarily true. Like there's, you know, you could just need a little bit of rest.
That's again, it's a condition that you're putting on yourself. Exactly. I should. You know? Exactly. It's only you. It's only the way you perceive it. I think when it comes to addictions, slowing down and having some form of a spiritual practice, it's important because like meditation, yoga, because it really allows you to just sit with yourself, be more in the present moment, and observe the processes of what you're going through, all the withdrawal symptoms, you know, and deal with them through breathing, deal with them through yoga, you know, just see how your body changes and how your body reacts throughout this.
This is reminding me of the whole inspiration for this show about addiction came to me and us because of Russell Brand. I just want to acknowledge Russell Brand because you reminded me just now of that, because he talks about, he's had like all kinds of crazy, intense drug addictions, sex addictions, and he said meditation, like, and he does transcendental meditation, was the only way that he was able to get himself off of those things. And, you know, so
I love Russell Brand. I think he's amazing.
Super smart guy, very intelligent, funny, interesting. You know, some people agree with his politics and don't, but I just want to acknowledge that that's where it came from. The idea of, and then something else you were saying about that you like reflecting on oneself. I think in meditation, it's you're. I don't know, I've had the experience many times where I just kind of have an insight, like, oh, this thing, and so. You know, to get that perspective on yourself, if you don't meditate, then I guess what I'm saying is if you don't meditate, for sure, getting in conversation with other people around you about what your addictive behaviors are would be a smart idea. Yes. Whether it's a coach or friends and family, just to kind of help yourself see it, because otherwise it's like you just are blind to it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Or create a group, you know, like with a couple of your friends that, you know, okay, we just go on sugar, like what you and I said, okay, we do 50 days, you know, of the accountability. Yoga, you know, it's accountability, and also, you know, going through those processes, like if it's your first time, especially like for us, we've tried so many different dietary theories and practiced so many things, like it's not a problem for me to detoxify myself from something by myself, you know, like I'm already aware that I'm going to go through withdrawal symptoms. You develop your discipline, and you know what it feels like, But for those of you who are beginners, you know, it's good to be in a team. Because you can discuss, you know, you can talk and you don't feel alone. Yeah,
and so I was thinking, as you were saying that, about, because I've done juicing for 5 days and like this, and it was so much more fun and interesting when I would do it with my coworkers at the office that I was at. And then also, I was thinking before when we were saying, another way to know if you've got some addictions is to do a juice fast, because then you'll see what foods you're thinking about. Also the emotions, like I remember always have to, because when you're saying, it's like that second day, the evening and the morning of the third day is that critical point when you, very critical. You know, it's like,
when it's hitting.
Oh, the shit hits the fan, folks. And then it's like all the emotional stuff comes up. And like, I remember I broke up with a boyfriend at that time. Like, it's like, it gets really intense. So I was realizing, like, this is how food can be attached to other emotions and things like this in relationships. When you do a juice cleanse, you cannot help but see all the things that you're using food to separate yourself from. So that's accommodate yourself. So I think that's a very powerful way for people. You know, you may think, oh, I've got no addictions. Well, I'm telling you, try 5. Don't start necessarily with 5 days, but if you can get through 5 days on juice, then you can come to me and tell me that you're not addicted to anything. But unless you've done that, I kind of doubt that you're not addicted.
I would start off 3 and then go 5 for a beginning, you know, so to not kind of shock the system.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But even 3 can be quite intense.
Yeah, and other people, if you're really new to it, you could actually you could start with just a juice like half a day and then do regular half a day. You know, depending on you know yourself best as far as your tolerance for this. I wouldn't tell anyone, like, here's what you should do. It's more like, I'm just saying there's different options for how to get into that, to get juicing. Yeah. How are we doing on time? We only got,
it just went.
Okay, here we are. We've only got about 8 minutes left. So.
Well, even less than 8 minutes.
Okay, so what's happening for you between that? So we have now a 2-week break. We're not going to be on next week or the week after.
Yes.
So we're coming back on November 1st. You guys can still post on Zest for Life Barcelona if you want to.
November 1st, which will be
a Wednesday.
On Wednesday, our last show.
Yes, that's our last show.
At 6 p.m.
We're going to have some special gifts for you guys as well, so make sure you tune in for our last show.
Yeah, we will definitely be giving some things away for
Yes.
free for our audience. We still don't know where we're going to stream from.
We might be here, we might be at Yolkas, we might be in Vesna's apartment, maybe at a park somewhere, who knows.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
So what's happening for you?
What's happening for me? Right after this, I'm going to be enjoying those delicious delights, Indian delights.
Pakoras, we have, what are the other ones called? Samosas, beautiful things at Carmel Lounge Restaurant.
So you have to visit it. For those of you who is local in Barcelona, the ambience is amazing.
We've
and
been
the staff is
completely relaxed
amazing.
and enjoyable here.
Yeah, really nice place. I really like it. I like as well, like these sofas and chairs.
Before we hang up, we'll show you the little more of the space.
And after that, I have to go to a birthday. After that, this weekend, definitely going hiking.
Good. Yeah, because you just saw in the meditation.
It's going to be sunny Saturday and Sunday, so either Saturday or Sunday, I'm definitely spending one day in nature, that's for sure. And maybe a party actually.
Okay.
There's a jungle party on Saturday night.
Jungle music or in
jungle
the jungle?
Music.
Okay, got it.
Not in the. There's no
I don't
jungle
know.
here.
Like, where's the jungle? Okay, cool.
Where's the jungle? I'm not going to Switzerland.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No, jungle music. I haven't done that for 4 or 5 years, maybe last time. So it's like jungle drum and bass.
Perfect.
I am still not sure. Let's see how I feel after being in nature the whole day. I might just want to wind down with a book, but that's my plan.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, and yours?
I'm off to Switzerland. I'm very excited. I'll be in Ticino in the Italian part.
Ticino.
And my friend Shannon O'Kelly, she has, and her husband Christian, they have a beautiful house there. They've got a yoga room. And there's one of my favorite spas in the world just near their house. So we can go, there's that spa where you're inside in the spa and you can like wade out in this little river and then you're suddenly out in this pool that's outside next to the lake. So I'm very excited about that.
Can I come?
Yeah. So that's
forget about the mountain.
Right. And then I'm also, between now and then, I'll also go to the German-speaking part of Switzerland. One of my other favorite spas is up there near the German border of Switzerland. So I think I'm going to go there as well. I'm going to continue my meditation teacher training. I'm going to be testing for I think I might even be able to get certified before we next speak as a meditation teacher. So that's also something I'm engaged with between now and next time. What else? And then hopefully I get asked to work in Italy, in northern Italy, in Lago di Como, which is one of the most beautiful lakes in the world.
Well, you're going to do that?
Well, I usually go there to serve as a somatic integration expert.
Nice.
So that could be what I'm going to be doing. I don't know yet.
Afterwards.
Yeah, at the end of my time in Switzerland, before I come back here. It will be at the end of the month.
That would be good. No?
And it'll be Halloween before we see each other again, so hopefully,
Yes.
I mean, I think, Vesta and I were talking, I think it's time to dress up this year. I did last year as well.
I don't know yet. Well,
okay, let's see what happens.
It's time to dress up. It's been a while.
Yeah, maybe we'll post our pictures on Zest for Life Barcelona if we do dress up. Yeah?
We should do that.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool.
Well, that was our show, folks. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your support. We love you, and we're going to see you in 2 weeks.
Questions and comments. 3 weeks. It's in
2.
We missed 2 weeks, and then we have the 3rd week. So it's in 3 weeks from now.
Oh, wow.
In 3 weeks from now. November 1st. See you then, guys.
Bye.
Bye from Carmel Lounge and Restaurant. Oh, I was going to show them.
I
want to show you the little, there's like a, see that? That's beautiful. This is the one. Oh, here's Sherry, the manager. I'm just going to show people a little bit of the, there's Sherry, hello. There's one of our people serving us. And then we have a bar here. We have lots of tables. Hi. So come and join us next time. Bye for now.